So if you've got this beautiful little Shure MoveMic, then let's help you set this thing up. Firstly, how to connect it in if you're connecting it to your phone, which I think is the most obvious use case for this. But if you do want to use it and feed it into a camera like this or into your computer, I'm going to show you how to use the receiver part as well, which charges as well. We've done a full review on this microphone. If you haven't watched that, I'll link to that one at the end. But clearly you're already sold if you're here looking at the setup video. So let's get to it, shall we? So head over to the Shure website and download their Motive Video app. We've put a link to it in the description as well. It'll open up and you'll see your camera view coming through like this. I'll keep it pointing to a dark surface and then you can hopefully see the screen without it looking too messy. And by default, I haven't connected in the headphones yet. They're still sitting at the side of me. And so it says it right at the top there, built-in microphone. So let's come down. There's a little microphone and a little ratchet at the bottom left. We'll touch on this and it's looking for a device. So you can see there, it's pulling in the built-in microphone. If I hit the little plus mic at the top, we go into this connection screen. And what I want to do is pick up one of my microphones, press it, squeeze it, and until we see a red light coming on in that. There we go. Right, now I can let go of this, and you can see on my app that it's already discovered it as quick as that, literally in a couple of seconds. Not connected. I tap it, and it's connected. So now this thing is bonded. You may get a message to do a firmware update. But once you've done that, or ignore that, you can now see that it's on your screen here, and I've got the blue and the green lights to tell me that we're bonded and we're sorted. But don't worry about the lights, because when you attach it, you're going to have it this way around and no one's going to see them. All right, so what can we see on here? We've got a signal strength, we've got 95% battery charge, and we can see the gain on here as well. Now I'm going to unlock these settings so that we can get into this and have a look. So on here I can just pull this gain back to somewhere I want. We want to be just touching in so it's hitting that yellow. So probably about 20 on here would suit me and my voice. And then we've got presets below, and I love this. This is very much like how I set up my MV7. I don't need to be, when I first looked at this, I thought I'm going to be having to show you and test all these different compressor levels and high pass filters. I'm not doing that because this knows what I'm doing. So we're in speech mode. So it knows that it doesn't need a lot of compression, and it can apply the high pass filter because it knows the range of my voice, and it's going to cut the rest out. If you were singing, then you can change across to here and it will come into this singing mode, and you can see it slightly changed the pattern there. Or you could go to a flat mode. You can then adjust the compressor, the high pass filter, and you can come in the equalizer and fully adjust that across those 5 bands. All right, but for me, and what I recommend, please, is that just go for speech mode if this is what you're doing. And then when I'm happy with that, I can lock this, and this can't accidentally get knocked. That's this microphone setup. I can do exactly the same with the second microphone if I'm using to. Bring that in again. I can actually put a name on them. So maybe in this case, it's actually like me, and then I'm wanting it for a guest that I'm talking to, and I want to actually name the microphones. I can do. So we're set up in there. I can hit close on this and come back out. We're now on the recording screen, and it is telling me here to enable airplane and do not disturb modes for best results. We don't want to hear any interference of the Wi-Fi or suddenly get a message come through or anything like that. So there's a little notice on there. I'll just turn that off for now. And so you can see your audio levels on there all the time. You can see your battery, you can see your signal strength on this main screen. And then look, I can change around the different cameras that I've got. So on this camera, on this phone, I've got 3 cameras on the back. So let me just adjust those. We're on the wide one at the minute. When I tap it, we can click on here and we've gone into the tele mode, and then we'll have an extra wide one as well that comes back on here. So easy as that to change between these. And if I want to change to the rear facing camera, then I can do that on here. And this is typically where we're going to be using this, really, isn't it? Then at the bottom of here, I can change what I'm seeing on the screen. So if I want to have a grid on here to help keep myself on those lines, or I can change that around and have a central one that just shows me where the horizon is. Then I can come across here and I can adjust from 30 frames, 60 frames, or 24 frames per second. Unfortunately, this isn't really set up for the UK. I would be wanting to have 25 and 50 on here. And I'm hoping that this won't cause any issues with banding in the background. For what I'm doing here, that doesn't seem to be picking anything up. There's no interference with that. But I was using it the other day and I could definitely see some banding coming down in there, sadly. I can adjust this. We're in 4K at the minute. I can take it back to 720 or 1080 or bring it back to 4K again. The 48 kilohertz is fixed, but we can adjust over here different audio outputs if we want to. I'm just leaving mine on WAV. And then there's more settings in here about the app, the device, updating firmware, the audio format, quality, video quality. These were the settings that we saw on the front, but you can do it from here as well. And face detection. So you saw that was on. I would definitely have that on if you plan on having people in shot, because it will just lock on you and it will stay focused and not be hunting around or trying to find anything else. I like this dark mode rather than the light mode. Doesn't that look better? So we'll keep it over here. Yeah, and a few other little bits in there, but there's not a lot there. That's pretty much it. And then this at the end here, if you want to go and live stream from this out to Facebook or put in an RTMP key and go out to YouTube or somewhere else, you can do that from within the app. But for me, I'm just going to be using it to do a bit of handheld recording like this, or using it in a gimbal. When you've been recording and you want to come back and watch your footage, click at the bottom left and it will show your library of recordings there, and you can click on any of them and you can just put that up and share it wherever you like. And I think that's about it for connecting it to your phone. It's as simple and as quick as that. That's what I love about it. This is a little bit chunky, but I guess it's chunky because it's got that battery supply built into it. But with this and my phone, I'm out and about, I want to record something, I can get some really good quality audio out of this. And to give you an example of what this sounds like, here's a few clips of me out and about in Cyprus. Here I am then, this is microphone clipped in, this is me down at the harbour, and I don't have the noise reduction turned on right now. I find that's from what I've heard so far through my headphones, it does seem to be a nicer, cleaner sound. I'll flick the noise reduction on. There's creaking of the boats, general kind of noise going on here, but it's pretty quiet and peaceful. So let me flick it over. Okay, so I haven't moved, exactly the same place, exactly the same creaks and noises and things, but with noise reduction turned on. So what do we think to that? Does that make much of a difference? And then to kind of end this test, actually it's getting a little bit creakier down here for some reason. These boats seem to be catching the wind more than the others. We'll come to the end of here, I'll turn around and then we'll flick it over actually to the inbuilt microphone and have a listen to what that sounds like. Okay, so this is now the built-in microphone. Not very good with this gimbal, but I thought it might be a nice opportunity to have a play with it actually. Creaking, groaning noises from the boats. Got a bit of wind up. You can see from my hair flapping around. How different is that? Can you see the sails moving? Yeah, is that doable? Do we need these mics? Now, if rather than recording into your phone, you're wanting to record into your camera or straight into your computer, then you are going to need the kit that comes with this little RX receiver as well. So we start by just powering it on round on the side. Here's a little button there. We get this flashing light and we get this message saying that it is searching. So in the same way that it was searching for a microphone when we turn the app on, we're going to take a microphone out of the case. Right, instantly that's found this 𝗹𝗶𝗀𝗀. So I click, it's connecting, it's connected. So again, it's looking saying, do I want to connect the other one? But we'll leave it or hit the X and come back out of this. And you'll see that that top one now is connected. And I'm getting the same reading. So I can see that I'm plus 20 on here. What I've found that where I've been plus 20 dB into my phone, when I'm running it on this and into my camera, I'm actually needing to pull that up. You can see on there, it's not getting as far up. So if I move this little wheel on the front up, so that's selected, and then I can move right and push it along. And I reckon about 30 is where I'm finding this sits well for me. And that's it, it's connected. If I come down and hit the middle of that, I can see my devices. So I can see that I've got one connected. I can name it if I want. I can connect a new mic as well, but it's telling me that channel 1 is in. I can adjust the gain and the mute on here. I can go through my audio effects, the mode there, the noise reduction, high pass, compressor, equalizer. So everything that was in the app is in this tiny little device. I can choose whether I want the LED on or not. There's an identify, which just means it's going to make it flash on the front. And that's it. Output settings. If I'm monitoring this out into headphones, because that's one thing I didn't point out, that you can monitor straight out of this. So I could select that one and have options. Do I want to hear channel 1 through my left ear, channel 2 through my right, or mixing them? And then for my camera output, I can see how that's mixed as well. Do I want them both separate or in together mixed? Output levels. Do I want to record a safety track? So it'll just record another file through at whatever my preference is there, like 6 dB later, lower than that. So in case there's something loud in this first track, then there's a second track that I can use. And then if I'm on USB, I'm getting the same kind of settings over there for that one. Monitoring, so I can see on the display here what's going out onto my headphones, and actually mix in there whether I want mic or USB as my input into this. So I guess if I were running music into it, I could feed that in and I could be listening it and monitoring in here. I don't know really that I would want to do that. Display settings, brightness of the screen, a factory reset, and an about. So there you go, there's all your options that you've got in here, more than I was expecting to have in. And remember that everything is happening in here, and then when I send an output from this over an audio cable, that's going to go into my camera, or that could go into my computer, or actually with my computer I can just do it across a USB and export it that way. So I think that's about it. It's as straightforward as that. Stick to the default settings that Shure are giving you, and I don't think you'll go too far wrong. Play with that gain. You know, I'm using Ecamm. You can use something like this, and you can see on the dials, bring it in and actually just speaking it. In terms of getting that gain right, I would just be recording something here and just adjust the gain and talk as you're saying it. This is the gain with 20, this is it at 30. Get a feel for what sounds right, and then you can set that in and lock those settings in. But that's how you're bringing it into either your phone or your computer or your camera. As I say, I think what you might find is that the pairing up, if you're jumping between your phone and then to the receiver, you might find it doesn't find it. And actually, I should just show you that my devices. So on this channel 1, for instance, I can hit forget on here. Oh, you want to forget it? Yes. That's now gone, and it now has got nothing in there, so I just need to pairing up again. So if you're struggling, you know, and you've got it trying to pair and it can see it but it doesn't seem to be connecting, just tell it to forget it and go through the process again. Well, I hope that's been helpful and got you started. If you come up with any problems, do let me know, and if this has been helpful, please let me know that as well. So thanks very much. Go have fun with your microphone, and I'll see you in another video.